Good afternoon, Sword Family. You'll have to excuse me. StreamYard decided just as I went live to inform me that I'm no longer connected to my Kick account, so I don't have to reconnect this stupid thing. There's the... Oh, you evil thing. Yes, I know this is dead air. I understand. There we go. Really hate when it does that. It'd be really, really nice to actually inform me before I go live, but regardless. Welcome to the Teahouse. Tonight, we're going to get a little bit philosophical, a little bit historical, a little bit martial article. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now. We're going to try and encompass the entirety of what this channel is all about. Because I haven't done a lot of purely martial art content lately. And I want to try as much as I can to balance out the aspects that I wanted to cover when I first started this channel. And that was history, philosophy, culture, and martial arts. Try and do a little bit of each. But lately, the martial art content has kind of been pushed to the wayside in favor of other things. So we're going to try and get back to that. I realized that my last Teahouse episode was the one with Seafood Cuddle, which was 8 months ago. It's been almost a year ago. And I've tried reaching out to several other people through Facebook, through Instagram. Haven't gotten any responses yet. I got some when I initially reached out, and several people said they were willing to do it, just not right now. They had other things going on. One person was moving. People had just other things going on at the time. They just said not now. So I'm going to try and reach back out to those people to see if they're willing to come back. Now, in about a month and a half, I think, it's going to be my 100th episode of the Teahouse. I still am attempting. Hi, puppy. Yes. Hello to you. Come over here so people can see you. Come on. Over here. Come on. Over here. People want to see. Come on. No. All right. He doesn't want to be on camera today. I'm still trying to plan the panel show with Foxy and Trey, and we're going to try and bring Kimberly back to discuss women and female presenting people in martial arts. Haven't heard from Kimberly yet, which is slightly disappointing, but the only real avenues I have to contact her are Facebook and Instagram. She doesn't really seem to check those very often. So I'm hoping I have, a month and a half. We'll see what happens. If not, as it gets closer, I will talk to you. I will talk to the patrons and see what kind of things they want to see for the 100th episode. Oh, excuse me. Of the Teahouse. Now let's go ahead and run through these comments. Oh, wait. I'm going to be in trouble. I forgot. Hold on. Yes. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Go ahead and run through the comments really quick, and then we can get started. And first through the door at 2:03 this afternoon is my Foxy girl. Welcome to another chat with the one and only Bladed Thesis. I would hope so. If there's more than one of me, I don't know if this world could handle more than one of me. That'd be weird. But yes, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, please do. And Donna pops in at 5:15. Greeting, Foxy. Hey there from Foxy. And Carl joins us with a hello, everyone. Donna greeting the Witsman dude. And Kitty popping in at 5:23. Hey, hello, kitten. Carl greeting Foxy, Donna, and Kitty. And Ruby is here. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you out and about and around. Evening, everyone. Hello. Yes, Foxy got bubble wrap. Donna greeting Kitty and Ruby. Foxy greeting the ladies and Carl. And Carl also greeting Ruby. And yeah, Foxy has bubble wrap. Hope we don't hear popping during the show. You might. You've heard her giggle from the background. You've heard her giggle from back there. So it's entirely possible if she starts popping that stuff, you might actually hear it. 2 R. Hold on. 2, 2. Ni. I'm just going through most of the languages that I know. Chinese, Spanish, German, Japanese. Greetings to Inigo. Inigo not scared of the bubble wrap like Huli was. She was pretty terrified of bubble wrap. Hello to me. What's up, sword people from Midnight? How's it going, Midnight? We have TwitchBot. Greetings to Midnight. More greetings to Midnight. And Houston, Texas, Dave is joining us. Hi, friends. Hello, Dave. Thanks for the card. Greetings to Dave. Greetings to Drabe. StreamYard being rude. Yeah. It didn't tell me when I first logged into StreamYard. No, it waited until I hit go live, and it's like, we have lost access to your Kick account. Well, thank you for telling me now. Welcome, Whitman dude. There's the co-star. Yep. Yeah, 100 episodes, and that's not counting my game streams because I count those as separate. I literally went back and counted each individual episode of the Teahouse. And there's 92 of them. That's not counting the short form videos. That's not counting the game streams. That's just episodes of this show. 92 of them. I have 8. Well, I'm counting today 7 more. And then the next one is the 100th episode. If I don't skip any more weeks, that will be May 9th. May 9th. As long as I don't skip any more weeks, don't get sick, don't have anything happen between now and then, May 9th will be the 100th episode of the TS. So, congrats. Thank you, Carl. More teenage girls in our neighborhood screaming in play. Thought they were done with that. No. I'm actually surprised there's no one out playing right now. Because there's literally a basketball court right there. Like, right across from my window. I'm surprised there's nobody out there right now. There's actually a really, really nice, cool breeze blowing in the window. It's been highs in the 80s for the last like 3 or 4 days. Every single day this week, when I turn my computer on in the morning, it says tomorrow's high might break the record for such and such day. So it's definitely been warm. So that nice cool breeze right now, I'm loving it. It's great. Oh, yeah. Ones who used to scream moved away. Well, one group leaves, another group moves in. Kind of the circle of life. All right. Now, before we get started, I want to clear up a couple of different things. Number one, when I say swordsman, I am not only talking about men and male presenting people. It's just swords person doesn't really roll off the tongue as well. It's kind of difficult. Swords person, it doesn't really work. So this is all-encompassing swordsman. This is men and women and male presenting and female presenting and non-binary. Everyone is encompassed in this term swordsman to me. If there are people out there that are offended by me using the word man to encompass everyone, I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect. But to me, swordsman is like dude. It's an all-encompassing term. It means everyone. My mother loves to get on me when I call her a dude. I'm not a dude. I'm a dudette. No, dudette is just stupid. Dude is everyone. Everyone is dude. Everyone is swordsman. That's just, it just is. Number two, I'm also not just talking about people who use swords. This is also encompassing all weapons. Staff, dagger, fan, spear, everyone. I suppose I could have titled this The Martial Artist's Ultimate Ideal, but there's a reason I didn't call it that, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Maybe a few minutes with the way that I ramble, but yes, exactly. Calm down, mom dude. She also loves to get on me when I say that, in my opinion, the old idiom of you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. No. To me, the statement is you can choose your family, but you cannot choose your relatives. Because relatives are the people that are related to you by blood, by marriage. Family, on the other hand, you can choose. You choose your family. Family are the people that stand by you. They are the people that choose you and you choose them. They're the people that want you around and you want them around. So she also gets on me when I say you can choose your family, but you can't choose your relatives. She's like, no, it's you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. No, it's not. Just like that whole blood is thicker than water thing. That's one of those instances of they took the entire statement and shortened it and changed the entire meaning. The whole statement is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which is the exact opposite meaning of the one they're trying to make you. There's a term for when people do that, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a term for when you take a full statement and shorten it and change the meaning. There's a term for that. I can't really think of it right now. But she gets on me about that too. So those are the two things I wanted to just start things with. Swordsman encompasses every gender, and swordsman also encompasses every weapon. I called it Swordsman's Ultimate Ideal because of something we're going to get into later on. I might, come back to that when we get there. So, now that we're almost 20 minutes into things, I know who I am. Look at me. I'm nobody as far as like the greater martial artist community is concerned. I don't have a huge school. I don't have hundreds or thousands of followers on social media. I have exactly 2 students and I'm sleeping with them both. My little cousin that was my 3rd student is now at that age. She's kind of a preteen. She doesn't want to do anything that's going to other her amongst her friends. She's in tumbling. She's in cheerleading. She's going to school. So she's busy like all the time. Another cousin of mine, at least I think, lives in the building right next to mine. And I don't even see her over there anymore because she's just busy all the time. So she doesn't really have the time or the energy to learn anything from me. I'm hoping maybe she might come back around to it, and she might not. It might have just been something for her to do when she was younger, that it was something she could do with me. Something she could do to bond with a person that she considered to be a father figure. And if that's the case, okay. It was fun while it lasted. I have 2 students. And yet, every single week, I'm here talking about martial arts in general, and specifically Chinese martial arts. And I hope that I'm able to convey the things that I'm trying to get across to people. I hope that when people leave here, they've at least learned as much as I tried to teach in that episode. One of the first things that I teach when I get a new student, before we get into any martial arts at all, I kind of start with my overall philosophy of martial arts. I don't immediately go into stances or weapons or anything like that. It's philosophy first, so that you can understand, as my student, where I'm coming from. And one of the first things that I teach is knowing your limits as a student and knowing my limits as a teacher. Sometimes I have to be humble enough to admit when I don't know something. And there are times where you need to be willing to admit that you are not the right teacher for a student at that time. Perfect example of that is Kitty, my little dancer girl. When she first came to me, she had no experience in martial arts whatsoever. None. She'd been dancing for most of her life, but she had no experience in martial arts. So we did the philosophy bit. I got through the basics, the 5 basic stances. We did the Yang 24. And I did the staff, because the staff is called the grandfather of all martial arts Before you learn any weapon in Chinese martial arts, you need to learn the staff first. For a couple of reasons. Number one, you're less likely to kill yourself with a staff. You can hurt yourself. You can injure yourself. But unless you get a really, really lucky hit, you're not going to kill yourself with a staff. Oh, excuse me. Plus, the staff, when it comes to Chinese weapons, it is the foundation. Everything that you learn in the staff, you can alter and use with the next weapon you want. You know, I did that video a while back about the 3-point staff turn and turning that into a sword flower. So learn staff first. Then she came to me and wanted to learn the dagger. And I'm not a dagger person. I'm not. Sometimes you can take things from sword and move them over to dagger and just like shorten the range. But you want to do rondel dagger. I don't do dagger. I'm a Jian guy. That's what I do. I teach sword. Same thing with Foxy. She wanted to learn a fan. I don't do fan. So I had to be willing to send them to a different teacher because I couldn't give them the knowledge that they wanted to get at that time. Now, if they came back later and wanted to learn sword, they wanted to learn Xian, or they wanted to learn something else, then we go from there. But as a teacher, as a shifu, you have to know your limits, and you have to learn the limits of your student. Once you know what they can and can't do, then you can alter your teaching style to fit them. I hate it when a teacher treats every single student exactly the same. Not every person learns the same way. Not every person learns using the same method. When I was doing assistant instructing at the college with my most recent shifu, he wanted everyone to learn the exact same way. And you just can't do that as a teacher. Not everyone is going to learn the same way. You have to be willing to alter your teaching style to fit your students, not trying to get your students to alter their learning style to fit you. Doesn't work. If someone came to me to try and learn something that wasn't Jian, and I tried to teach them how to use that weapon as if it were a sword, I'm doing them a disservice because that's not what they wanted to learn. They wanted to learn a different weapon, not a Jian, not what I can teach them. Now, we're almost halfway through the episode. Now we get back to why I called this the swordsman's ultimate ideal. There is a scene in the Jet Li movie Hero there's a character in the movie named Broken Sword. And Jet Li's character, Nameless, comes to Broken Sword to get a big, huge scroll made. And the reason that Nameless comes to Broken Sword to have this scroll made is because he wants to learn what? No, he wants to learn how Broken Sword fights. Nameless is of the opinion that watching someone make a big, huge calligraphy painting of one word, the word is sword, will help him learn how that person fights as a swordsman and how that person thinks as a swordsman. Now, he doesn't actually watch the scroll being made, but you can say that he oh, geez. Losing my English again. Let's. Yes, I'm glad you learned stuff. Thank you. And good evening, Dan. Glad that you joined us. Greetings for Dan. More greetings for Dan. Greetings for Dan. Oh, thank you, kitten. Good circle. Thank you. I appreciate that. Some people aren't cut out to be teacher. Some people aren't. That's true. Now, you can say that Nameless helps. I can't think of the word. My brain is just not braining right now. He helps the scroll being made despite the fact that he's not even in the room. While the scroll, actually, I need to back up a little bit. At this time, there isn't one centralized writing system. There's several different writing systems going on. And so this is during Warring States, right? Remember Warring States period from when we did the Chinese dynasties? This was during Warring States. So Nameless goes to Broken Sword and he says, I want you to write sword, but I want you to write it in a new way. A way that nobody else has written the character before. So it has to be a whole new character of the word sword. While Broken Sword is writing this, and it's huge. Like, it is a giant piece that he's writing. I want to see if I can find a picture. Because if you compare it to the size of a human being, you're going to see just how gigantic this thing is. Oh, bloody hell. Nope. You're not being nice. All right, so while Broken Sword is writing this character, the school that he is at is being attacked by the King of Qin's soldiers. So Nameless and another person are defending the school while Broken Sword is writing this piece of calligraphy. And when Nameless goes to the King of Qin, he presents him with this piece of calligraphy. And the king kind of studies it. Trying to glean from this piece what Broken Sword saw. And there's a quote that the king comes to realize. And it's literally about the swordsman's ultimate ideal. So when I named this Swordsman's Ultimate Ideal, I was referencing back to that scene. And the quote goes something like this. The scroll of Broken Sword contains no secret of swordsmanship. What it reveals is his highest ideal. There are 3 stages of swordsmanship. In the first stage, man and sword become interchangeable. Here, even a blade of grass can be used as a lethal weapon. In the next stage, the sword resides not in the hand, but in the heart. Even without a weapon, the warrior can slay his enemy from 100 paces. But the ultimate ideal is when the sword disappears altogether. The warrior embraces all around him. The desire to kill is gone, only peace remains. So what the king sees in this scroll is what Broken Sword told Nameless earlier in the movie. It is Broken Sword's hope as a swordsman, as a warrior, as a soldier, for all of the killing to stop. For people to stop killing each other. And he believes that the only way that can happen is for one person to combine all of the country and get rid of all these warring states, to make them all get along and become one cohesive unit. Oh, did we find one? I think we found one. We might have found a picture. Okay, I think we found one. So let's go ahead and share screen just for a moment. That behind, this is Qín Shǐhuáng, the first king of China. This scroll behind him is the scroll that Broken Sword made. So that's probably slightly taller than he is. You can't see all of it because his body is, hiding at least part of it. But this is the character of Sword that Broken Sword created by himself, out of his brain. Once again, if you have not seen the Jet Li movie Hero, go watch it. But please, don't watch the Miramax version. The Miramax version is trash. They changed the most important translation in the entire movie. Just, if you can find the original Chinese version, watch that one. If it's the Miramax version, don't. Because they're going to change one word, and you're not going to know that it's been changed. And the director, the producer of the film, okayed the change. I don't care if he okayed it. It changes the entire meaning of the friggin' movie, and it pisses me off. But Broken Sword believes that the only person capable of getting all these warring states to stop fighting is Qín Shǐhuáng, the king of Qin. So, that's why I called it the swordsman's ultimate ideal. Because I'm talking about that scene in Hero, where the king of Qin stares at that piece of calligraphy, while there's a person behind him that just admitted to him that I'm here to kill you. I'm here to kill you with your own sword. He's got his back turned to the person that just said, I'm going to kill you, staring at this piece of calligraphy. And he decides, looking at this piece, that the ultimate ideal of swordsmanship is no more killing. None. That is a very important aspect of swordsmanship. Swords don't just take life. If you can believe that. Swords can also give life, and swords can return life. When I broke my hip, I very easily could have given up all of my martial arts ambitions. But I didn't. I wanted to get back to learning the sword. This, as well as other things, obviously, but the sword gave me back my life. It told me, don't give up yet. You still have so much more to learn, so much more to teach, so much more to do. As a swordsman, and again, this is all genders and all weapons, as a martial artist, you realize that you have to use violence sometimes to counteract violence. You know, there is a belief in traditional Chinese medicine of using poison to fight poison. Just like modern vaccines, they have to inject you with the virus to teach your body how to fight the virus. It's kind of the same idea. Using violence to combat violence. But you also, as a swordsman, as a martial artist, are aware that ultimately you want to create a world where you are no longer necessary. You want to create a world that you're not going to be a part of. Because ultimately, you want to get to a point where people don't need to fight. They don't need you to teach them how to fight for them. They're not needed anymore. That's what Broken Sword was saying. That's what Qín Shǐhuáng was saying. Everyone throughout history, since the beginning of man, have been killing each other over stupid shit. And we're over 40 minutes into this, so I should be able to swear and not lose. I mean, I'm not even monetized anyway, so I don't know why I care. You know, since the very first caveman discovered a nice cave and his neighbor was like, I want that cave, so now I'm going to hit you with a rock and take it over, humanity has been killing each other. It's always been that way. But as martial artists, just like Broken Sword says, he lived during a time period where everyone hated each other. This kingdom hated this kingdom. This kingdom hated this kingdom. They both hated each other. He wanted it all to stop. He wanted it all to be done, over with, no more. But to do that, he needed someone strong enough, powerful enough, ruthless enough, crazy enough to take over everything. From top to bottom, from left to right, everything. And that one person was Qín Shǐhuáng. Now, there has been some discussion outside and inside of China that this was all just nationalistic bullshit. And it is. You're painting a ruthless warlord as a hero. He wasn't. He was an asshole. He was bloodthirsty. But he was also possibly the only person that could do it. Obviously, he was the only person that could do it because he was the only person that did do it. Nobody else did. The whole country of China is named after Qín Shǐhuáng. Qin, his last name. Qin, not China. The whole country is named after him. He was the only person that did it. So it's entirely possible that he was the only person that could do it. When I play Skyrim, and yes, I know this is kind of all over the place, but it all comes back to the same idea. When I play Skyrim, when you join the game, the country of Skyrim is embroiled in a civil war. You have neighbors fighting against neighbors. You have people hating their siblings because they're on different sides of the conflict. And you have on one side a group of people that believes that Skyrim should govern itself. That Skyrim should not be beholden to anyone else. And then you have the Empire. And they are saying, no, you need to join forces with us so that we together can go and fight another army that is coming here to take you over. I always side with the Stormcloaks, the people that want Skyrim to stand on its own. This is why. When the Empire comes in, they tell the people of Skyrim who they can worship, how they can worship, what they have to do. People of Skyrim, on the other hand, just want to live their lives. They just want to do what they want to do. The Empire has already lost to the army that they say is coming to take over Skyrim. So they want to join forces with the Stormcloaks and the Empire together to fight these other people. But these guys have already lost that war. They already got beaten. They already got taken over. And that's why they are telling the people of Skyrim who they can and can't worship. But if you fight in the Civil War and the Stormcloaks win, you have now beaten the people that already lost to this other army. You already have the strength to beat them, and they already lost to these guys. So why do you need these guys to beat these guys over here? You don't. These people are doing exactly what colonizers do. It's exactly what the British did to the Native Americans, what the British did to the Scots, the Irish, the Chinese. They came in and said, we're going to take you over and we're going to force our worldview onto you. Did the exact same thing. So I'm going to join with the Stormcloaks because they have the power, they have the strength, they have the intelligence to kick those colonizers out of their country. To stop the fighting. Going all the way back. Now, try not to get political on this channel, but I do have to say this. This is not the same as immigration in America. It's not the same thing. It's not even close. Immigrants are not coming into this country trying to force their lifestyle, their worldview onto you. You're doing that to them, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Because if I get going on that, it's going to become a political rant, and I try not to do that here. It's not the same thing. Now, if you side with the Empire wins the Civil War. But who actually won the Civil War there? Because these groups have been fighting for a while. And it's not until you come along and join forces with them that they're able to win. It is my opinion, my biased opinion, obviously, but still my opinion, that eventually the Stormcloaks would have won anyway, even without your interference. But I don't think the Empire can win without you coming and fighting on their side. It's biased, it is. And is the leader of the Stormcloaks a giant asshole? Is he racist? Is he xenophobic? Yeah, he is. Same thing with Qín Shǐhuáng. Qín Shǐhuáng was a dick. He was a ruthless, bloodthirsty warlord. He was also the only person capable of making all of those tiny little warring states into one country. Same thing with Ulfric Stormcloak. This is also true. Best protectors are the ones that no one ever realizes exist. This is true. And that is the ultimate ideal right there. You don't need praise. You don't need, you don't need people knowing that you're the one doing these things. It's actually better if they don't know. I'm going to give you a little preview. A couple months ago, back in January, pay no attention to the crazy man sliding in late. Just got home from Parks Vendor. Nice. Yeah, I heard you and Trey were doing that tonight. Or today. Hopefully it went well for you guys. I really hope it did. I don't know if Foxy informed her, but let Trey know that Foxy got some new yarn and some new hooks. So she's going to be working on a new project now. Yes, hope it went well. Hope you had phone. I'm pretty sure he had phone. Yes. But a couple months ago, I got interviewed by Paul Coffey over on the Keep Kicking podcast. I've mentioned this basically ad nauseum since I was on the show. I'm going to give you a little preview in the last few minutes of the show here. There is a question that he asks every single guest. So if you watched any of the other shows, you're going to recognize this question. And the question is, another greeting for Joe. How do you teach a nonviolent person to speak in the language of violence? You know, Paul admits that he is sadistic and masochistic, but he also realizes that not everyone is like that. So he wants to know how each individual guest would teach a nonviolent person to be violent. Now, I don't actually remember what my answer was. And because the show's not going to air for another 4 weeks or so, I can't exactly go back and see what my answer at the time was. Shut up, Facebook Messenger. Damn. But I can tell you what my answer would be now. And I don't know if this is the same answer I gave back then, or if it's a completely different answer. Or if it's 50-50. Yes, I know it was your fault, Don. Glad you joined us. You're in time to catch the very end of everything. So, how do you teach a nonviolent person to be violent? You don't. You don't. Because meeting violence with violence is not always the answer. Because eventually, you're going to come across someone that's stronger than you. You're going to come across someone that's more violent than you, crazier than you. And you're not going to be able to overcome them with greater violence. So, meeting violence with violence, meeting force with greater force is not always the answer. Sometimes you need to meet violence with nonviolence. Sometimes you need to meet force with softness. So what does that look like? Well, if someone is throwing a punch at you, you can either try to, punch him in your, you can either try and muscle it out of the way. You can try and meet this force with a greater force of your own to try and push it off. Or you can yield to it. There's a great line in one of the Karate Kid movies. I want to say it's the first one, but I honestly don't know. But Mr. Miyagi, best offense, no be there. You're not going to meet this force with force of its own. You don't need to. You meet this force with yielding. You soft. You just push. You turn your body. You get out of the way. You're going to yield. You know, if someone is pushing you, you can always push back. But eventually, like I said, you're going to come across someone that's stronger than you. And no matter how hard you push back, they're going to continue pushing you forward. Doesn't matter how strong you are. This person is stronger than you. They're going to keep pushing. And your force is not going to be enough. So, instead of pushing back, you yield. You meet that force with softness. If someone's pushing you backwards, and you're pushing in the opposite direction, that's meeting force with force. Instead, person's pushing you, they want you to go that way. Okay, let's go that way. Yeah, be somewhere else. Exactly. Someone's pushing you back. You want to go that way? Okay, let's go that way. Then their own force is used against them. You're pushing me. Your force is already pushing that direction. That's the direction you want to go. Then let's go that direction. Same thing with weapons. If someone is attacking you, you can either hard block that weapon out of the way, which is going to damage both weapons, or you redirect. You meet with softness. There is a movement in Wudang Sword where an attack's coming this direction, they're stabbing at you, and instead of trying to muscle it out of the way, force against force, you're going to, using the flat, you're going to tap it, move your body, so again, you're yielding, and then you're going to, so you tap, move your body, and then you're going to circle. So it's, you're going to tap the weapon out of the way and then circle and tack them back. You're not meeting force with force. You're not trying to muscle that sword out of the way. You just tap and circle. Tap and circle. So now their weapon is over here, and your tip is threatening them. Get back up here. Hi. See that? Hello. Now, I don't know if that was the answer that I gave to Paul. But if I were to do the interview now, today, that is the answer I would give. How do you teach a non-violent person to be violent? You don't. You allow them to remain non-violent. You teach them that you don't always meet force with force. You don't always meet violence with violence. Sometimes you need to meet violence with non-violence. You need to meet force with softness. Back when we talked about external and internal martial arts, you know, the external martial arts are the ones that are going to meet force with force. They're going to be the ones that an attack is coming at you and you muscle that attack out of the way. You meet force with a greater force. It's not always going to work. Internal arts, on the other hand, are the ones where you're going to meet force with softness. Instead of muscling that attack, you yield. You circle. You avoid. Now, there are going to be occasions where you can't do that either. And in those cases, it might be necessary to use a little bit of violence, to use a little bit of force. But you don't have to meet force with a greater force. Sometimes you just need to meet it with just enough force to dissuade the first person from continuing their force. This right here. Used to teach newcomers at the factory to use inertia to let the weight of the product do the work instead of trying to muscle everything to do what you needed to do. Yep. That's exactly it. Internal martial arts. By and large, the first thing you're going to learn is using your opponent's force against them. Like I said, person is pushing against me, pushing me backwards. I don't need to push against that. I don't need to try and push force against force. I don't need to do that. Now, with a lot of people, that's your natural response. Someone's pushing you, you have to push back. That's just, it's a natural reaction. So you have to, in some cases, you have to teach yourself to go against the natural reaction of pushing back and instead yielding. Now, possibly for those non-violent people, that's their natural reaction. You're going to push me. I'm just going to keep backing up until I can't back up anymore. And then I'm just going to stand there and not know what to do. I think I've told this story on this channel before. And because we're already over an hour, I'm going to try and give the abridged version of the story. I was out at a bar one night. There were a bunch of guys. They were harassing a girl. I kind of stepped in. And yes, it does. It definitely, it works in dancing, period. That's what dancing is, at least two-person dancing. You're complementing each other. You know, this person moves this direction, you also back up. You move forward, they move forward. It's the same idea. Dancers make excellent martial artists because of this fact. They already understand it. But anyway, I stepped in, got them to leave this girl alone. Later on that night, I'm walking home. They decide they're going to be a bunch of punks and follow me and yell slurs at me. The head guy catches up to me, pushes me back against a wall, has his fist cocked like he's going to hit me. He doesn't, but trying to threaten me. And at first, I'm doing that natural pushback, force against force, to try and get out from the wall. And then eventually, clicks in my brain, what am I doing? I don't need to do this. And so instead of pushing back against him, I just kind of rolled my shoulder a little bit. Grabbed his wrist off my chest and rolled. He was already pushing that direction to the wall behind me. Rolled my shoulder, had him, whack, face first into the wall behind him. Just bam. And that was it. He was done. He had no further incentive to fight. If I had kept pushing against him, force against force, he would have kept pushing. But eventually, wham! Yeah, see, exactly. Wall is your shield, move out of the way and let him punch the wall. Or just roll your shoulder and let his force keep going that direction, and he face plants into the wall. So the ultimate ideal of swordsmanship, of martial arts in general, is to create a world where you don't exist anymore. You are not needed anymore. Create a world that doesn't need you. Because people are no longer fighting over dumb shit. Fighting over land that nobody owns. Fighting over which martial arts style is the best. Who cares? We compete against ourselves. We don't need to compete against other people. That is the ultimate ideal. Is to stop fighting. And we are now at almost an hour and 10 minutes. I think I've done a fair bit of rambling today. So, I think we're going to call it there for tonight. I will, of course, be back in just 2 days for my usual Nine Dragons game stream. I will possibly make an appearance on Creatives of Play over on the Indie CD channel. And if you don't see me there, I will be back right here next Saturday for the next Teahouse. Thank you, Carl. Good ramble. Thank you, Dan. Excellent philosophy. Thank you, Midnight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a happy Sunday, and I will see you all next time. Good night, Donna. I'm glad you made it too, Don. We haven't seen you for a couple weeks. I understand that things are kind of crazy, but it's always nice when you drop in. Don't worry about the interruption. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I will see you all next time. 再见。